Good morning, everybody. It's Jeremiah CSAP Westbrook with you on the Common Sense Politics Show. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I enjoyed my weekend. It was kind of nice to relax and do some things with the family. My sons had their first soccer game, which was fun to watch, and just did some other things around the house and relaxed for the most part. Still keeping up on the news. I was a little bummed out. They had the California GOP meeting down in Indian Wells, and unfortunately I wasn't able to make it. I saw a lot of great pictures and a lot of great networking coming out of the event down there. I wish I was really down there, but I had to stay at home and take care of family obligations first. So family first. If we can't take care of the family, we can't take care of the country. That's the way I look at things. So let's get into the news stories that kind of happened over this weekend and talk about them and get all caught up for the week ahead of us here.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I am a real American.
Okay, so the first news story I want to get into is Gavin Newsom over the weekend. I cannot stand this guy. There's a huge recall effort going on right now to recall Gavin Newsom. And I am dumbfounded. I am just so dumbfounded on how this man got elected. Well, I know how he got elected. It's a bunch of fraud. But I don't know how he still has support of any of the people in this state. Besides illegal immigrants, I could see why they still support him. But I just am lost for words, and hopefully I can shed some light on some of these things. But this man wants to give illegal immigrants in this country, in this state, benefits. He's already signed the bill. It's already in the process. It's already going through. However, look at all of our inner cities here in California. Look at all the homeless. Look at the veterans on the street. Why are we not taking care of these people first? Why are we taking care of illegal immigrants who could have just crossed the border yesterday illegally and start getting full-blown benefits today? How does that make any sense? Nobody's paid into this. They've done nothing to give back, to contribute to this great society in this country, yet they're going to be able to collect benefits. However, we have struggling kids in the inner cities where their parents are locked up in jail for simple drug possession crimes. Granted, some of that's loosening up here in California, but we have all these broken homes, broken families, and we're going to give illegal immigrants who could have crossed here just yesterday full benefits and insurance while these other families are struggling that are already here. The streets of LA and San Francisco are just loaded with homeless, but we're going to give illegal immigrants health insurance and benefits. It just makes, I don't know, you should have like 5% support of this state. It makes no sense. I don't know how to get the message out any better that Gavin Newsom is bad for this state, bad for this country. This guy's already planning on running for 2024. He thinks he's already the next president. This guy is the biggest scumbag I've ever met. But I just want to talk about a post that he did yesterday because this is what happened over the weekend, and it just makes absolutely no sense. So this was a Facebook post, and I'm pretty sure he did it on Twitter too. But he posted a news article that says, U.S. added 130,000 jobs in August amid global economic slowdown. Okay, sounds good to me. The global economy is slowing down, but we're still adding jobs. So this was his post. Americans are ready to work. Not next week, not next month, right now. This decline is a sign of Trump's failed policies and empty promises. Can somebody make sense of that? How does that make any sense to anybody? He posts an article saying that the U.S. is still growing jobs amidst a global slowdown. But we're still adding jobs. People are ready to work now, not next month, not next week. Yeah, we created jobs, and jobs have been doing nothing but growing here in America. So, Gavin Newsom, I don't know what you're talking about. What jobs have you created here in California? There's a mass exodus here in California. Jobs are leaving California like you wouldn't believe because of your policies and your rhetoric. It makes no sense. What are you talking about, you goofy moron? People are working. Jobs are here in the country. His policies are working. People are going back to work. What? That made no sense. You're posting a growth article and then talking about how Trump's policies are bad. Are you confused? I'm pretty sure you are, because you give illegal immigrants insurance, but you won't give normal Americans insurance. You are a confused individual, and that's why I say I don't know how you don't have negative support right now. It's asinine. This state is going into absolute hell. People mass exiting. Just go look at U-Haul numbers. U-Haul numbers. If you're leaving California on a U-Haul, you're getting charged an extraordinary amount of money to take a U-Haul and leave. If you're coming into California, you can get it for dirt cheap because there's so many U-Hauls leaving the state that they have to charge so much money because none of the vehicles are coming back. So they're actually trying to dissuade you from using their equipment to move out of California. That's how bad California is. But this goofy guy, our governor, Gavin Newsom, is sick. You're just sick. It makes no sense. Trump's winning on the trade deals. He's winning on all these other foreign policy issues. China's they're giving in to some of these things. They're buying more farm products. The policies are working. That's also why there is a global slowdown, because Trump is not getting the trade deals that he's getting out of, and recreating these one-on-one partnerships are much better for America. America's been getting ripped off for years, and Trump's putting an end to it. That's why there's a global slowdown, because, hey, the cash cow of America is over. We're not getting ripped off anymore. We're going to have fair trade deals, and that's how it's going to be. So the global trade is slowing, but we're still growing because we're not getting ripped off anymore. It's pretty nice when you're not being ripped off. Like if you had a business, let's just say you had a little simple business, a little mom and pop business, and you sold little antique things or whatever. If people are coming in and stealing you and paying half price for all your product and you're getting ripped off, yeah, you're still in business, but you're not making a lot of profit because all your stuff's being stolen, or people are lying and paying half price, or ripping you off, or selling you product that's not good product. You're being ripped off in every which way. Well, when you finally say, all right, I'm done being ripped off, I'm not going to have my product stolen, I'm not going to buy debunked product that has to get returned in 2 days, I'm not allowing myself to get ripped off anymore, essentially. Now your profits start to go up and you're doing just fine. And that's what's happening here in America. That hopefully that was a good analogy that you guys can understand. We are no longer being ripped off by the world in China and all these other countries. We're doing prosperous trade deals, one-on-one trade deals. That is fair trade across the board, not great trade for China and we're getting screwed and ripped off. Not happening anymore. So that's why, Gavin Newsom, watch this video and you will know that's why we are still adding jobs amidst a global slowdown, you moron. I hope you get recalled sooner than later. But this state is just so blinded. It's just blinded by emotions and not facts. And it drives me crazy. So the next stories I want to talk about is kind of this whole Walmart pulling their guns and not allowing the people to open carry in their stores, and the growing list of stores that are doing that, which is fine. I actually don't have a problem with that, and I'm going to explain why right here. So the growing list of retailers that are going into this don't open carry in our stores is we got Walmart to Walgreens, CVS, Wegman Foods, Kroger, and now Albertsons has joined other retailers with the gun change policy. Granted, none of these other retailers sell guns or ammunition, so they're not going as far as Walmart, where they're no longer selling ammunition for pistols, or they're not selling any guns that have nothing to do with hunting per se. Essentially, that's what they're going for. But they don't want people to open carry in their stores. Fine, you're a private business. I have no issues with that. Same with Walmart not allowing people, or they're not going to start selling these certain guns. I don't have a problem with this at all. I know a lot of people are in the uproar about it. Don't shop there. If you don't like it, don't shop there. I despise Walmart. I refuse to shop at Walmart. I don't think I've spent a penny in Walmart, in all honesty, in probably 3 to 4 years. Walmart, I don't like their policies. I don't like how they treat their employees, so I'm going to spend my money elsewhere. And that's what we do. That's the free economy. That's capitalism. That's the power we have as citizens. We need to understand the power that we have. If we don't shop at Walmart, they get dinged. The only thing I feel bad about it is they're going to pull these things. Look at what happened to Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods is like talking about closing 37 stores because of their gun policies that they made. Silly, silly, silly decision. I don't think you should get into these silly politic issues when you're a business. At the end of the day, you're trying to grow your sales, not kill your sales. And so when you pull gun sales, you're going to lose sales, especially where people tend to go there. I bought ammo from Walmart years ago. It was quick, convenient. I went there and bought my ammo when I would go target shooting. but I haven't shopped there in years. But it's going to lose sales. There's people that do it. A lot of times you'd go there and they didn't even have ammo. They'd be sold out. So a lot of people actually bought their ammo from Walmart. The only thing that I feel bad about this now is because they're making a decision, obviously, a political decision at that's going to hurt sales and businesses is, like I said, going back to Dick's, they're talking about closing 37 stores. Dick's probably has 100 plus employees that work at every single one of these stores. So you're talking about 37 times 100. You're talking about 3,700 jobs that are going to be lost because they wanted to make a political decision and make a stand in the, they wanted to draw a line in the sand and stand there. That makes no sense. You're closing businesses. You're losing businesses. People are losing their jobs, their livelihoods. I know people are going to go, well, it's just some part-time jobs. Those are the only people, they just work their part-time, like high school kids. No, you have store managers, supervisors, you have district managers. When you're talking about closing 37 stores, you're talking about a lot of high-paying jobs that people are going to lose. Yeah, you're going to lose a good portion of it is maybe part-time jobs, but half of it is probably full-time, good-paying jobs that people's livelihoods, their whole family needs that job. So to make, to draw a line in the sand and we're not going to sell guns anymore or ammo, you're going to lose sales. And when you lose sales, you lose hours. When you lose hours to give to employees, guess what? Now employees don't have work, all based on a political decision. So all you people out there who are woke and you agree, yay, I agree for Walmart not selling these things, just think of all the families that are going to start losing money, losing their jobs, and losing their hours. Their hours are going to get cut. A lot of things are going to happen because Walmart is deciding to draw a line in the sand and be woke and not sell ammo. As far as the open carry goes, I don't care one bit at all. I think it's kind of silly. It makes no significant difference if your state allows open carry. I don't see the problem with employers or companies allowing people to open carry, but that's their right. They're a private entity. They can do whatever they want. This is all just optics. They're just trying to pander to the mainstream media that has this mass wave of anti-gun rhetoric, and guns are the worst thing in America, and Americans who own guns are crazy killers that want to kill everybody in the world. And it's just a silly thing. So the optics that they're trying to do here is just, it makes no sense. Open carry is going to not change anything in this world. Again, like I've talked about it many times on my show, it's mental illness. Mental illness is the root of the problem. It doesn't matter if it's guns, it'll be knives, it'll be weapons, it'll be bats, it'll be anything that these people that want to cause harm for whatever deranged reason they have. And let me tell you, I believe the mainstream media is a large part of why we are actually having a lot of violence in this world, because there's such divisiveness that these people that are on the fringe, mentally ill, a little unstable, and are being untreated, they just hear all this rhetoric and anti this, anti that, instead of trying to come together as Americans. It's pitting us apart. And so these people, something triggers these mentally ill people to make them want to go out and do this. So I blame you, the mainstream media, for a lot of these problems in this country. But again, it's not the mainstream media. It's not the guns. It's mental illness at the end of the day. But all these different things are contributing to the obviously the tragic situations that do happen. Okay, so open carrying is going to change nothing. It's not going to do anything in these countries with the gun violence or anything else. They're just trying to get out there with the optics and look like they're doing the great thing, and they're being the leaders in anti-gun violence, which I'm anti-gun violence. I don't want gun violence in this country. It's just trying to put out the optics that they're the good guys out there. But it's just hypocritical. And so this is going to be the segue into my next portion of my show that I want to go into today. So if we really want to talk about saving lives and the gun violence in America, it's just a talking point. It's all the Democrats have. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. All the Democrats have is emotion. They fight. Their whole fight and their whole purpose is emotional fights. Like, oh, you hate gays and you don't want gays to get married, and gun violence, the mass murders in this country. And it all just plays off of emotion. And it's sick. Like, they don't want to talk about facts. You bring up facts, they get all upset. I made a meme the other day talking about cigarette smoking. And that's the segue I'm going into here. So all these companies are talking about, guns, and we're not going to sell guns, and we don't want open carry, and our political leaders need to do something about guns in this country because the death rate of guns is so high, and yada yada yada. And they're trying to act and put out these things like they're totally for it. Virtue signaling. That's the word I've been looking for. So they're virtue signaling to the media that's got it out there everywhere, and that all these things are bad. So now I'm going to hit home with the statistics. If we can beat Democrats, if you can get them to break that bond of the emotional tie to their argument and get them to realize facts, that's when you red pill these people, and that's when you convert Democrats into Republicans. Because I've said it before, most left-leaning Democrats are actually Republicans, but they will never say it. Why? Because bad orange man, Trump's an evil guy. Me in this red hat, I'm a racist Nazi. It's all emotional ties that are emotionally tied to this. So, like I said, most of these leaning left Democrats are actually Republicans. They lean right Republican, but they will never say that because I could never be a Republican. I'm not racist. Neither am I. I'm not racist either. I want the best thing. I'm frustrated that inner cities, black communities can't get insurance, but Gavin Newsom's giving illegal immigrants health insurance. How is that racist? I don't think that's racist at all. I think we should help our country first. So, again, it goes back to we have to break that emotional tie that Democrats have to these arguments. And if you can break the emotional tie and get them to realize the facts, then they go, oh, I never thought of it that way. Because they're just so emotionally tied. They don't even know. Like, you see it all the time. You ask them, well, Trump's a racist. Well, what has Trump done that's racist? Please tell me. He's just a racist. Again, it's that emotional tie. They're just tied to that emotionally. They hate Trump because he's a racist. But how is he a racist? If you can break that emotional tie, that's how you win. So we got to really work on that. If you really think about it and break it all down, I want you guys to use other examples. Think of it on your own. Think of other examples where these people are just tied to these issues. Oh, I'm so mad because Trump this or Trump that. Or I don't want to be a racist Nazi because you have a MAGA hat on. Tell me, what have I ever said that's racist? Tell me. But they don't, it's just that emotional tie. The emotional tie to red MAGA hats. They're just tied to it, that we're a Nazi and we're evil people and we hate this world. If you can break that, that's how we get it. So moving on. I digress. I went a little far into that, but that's the truth. We need to break those emotional ties. Once you break the emotional ties and you get the emotion out of it and start talking facts and reality, that's how you red pill people, and we will start getting people who lean left turning right. And if you watch the walk away videos that Brandon Strzok has done, his whole campaign, these videos are all saying the same thing. Wow, I feel like I was lied to all these years. Because they had the emotional tie, but once they were able to take emotion out of it, look at the facts and really see what was being presented to them, they walk away. And that's what we need. So moving on. So like I said, I digress, and I want to segue into this virtue signaling that all these companies are doing, that the mainstream media is pushing upon them. I want to talk about cigarette smoking in this country. So if we're going to talk about deaths and how evil these guns are, why don't we start talking about other things? I want to show how illogical the argument is when you actually take the emotional tie out of it and start talking facts. So let's go into gun deaths. We'll start right there. Gun deaths. Each year, 36,383 Americans die from gun violence. This is all together. So this isn't mass shootings. This is all together. We're talking suicides, homicides, law enforcement shootings, unintentional shootings, undetermined shootings. So everything. This is that statistic has everything wrapped up into it. Okay, so that's all the gun violence each year. 36,000 Americans, essentially. We'll just round down. 36,000 Americans. So now let's talk about tobacco usage in America. 480,000 people die a year. 500,000 Americans die a year to cigarette smoke. Okay, so I want to take this to the next level of cigarette smoke. From the American Lung Association, right? So this is a up and up. This isn't some right-wing conspiracy thing. This isn't anything else. Secondhand smoke is a serious health hazard causing more than 41,000 deaths per year. Gun violence, all of it combined, 36,000. Second-hand smoke, so not even smokers, 41,000 deaths a year due to secondhand smoke complications. Okay, Walmart, if you want to virtue signal and you really want to talk about problems in this country, you need to start talking about smoking. Look at all the people that are dying. 41,000 people are dying a year from secondhand smoke complications. 500,000 a year are dying from their own cause. So I want to break this down into my libertarian values. And this is what I like doing this show, because I even learn things and my position changes as I learn things by the left making these absurd standings and all these different things they do. It just makes no sense. Like with abortion, I was that guy that didn't really look into it. I was like, you know, as long as you get it during the first term, okay, whatever, not a big deal. I don't have a problem with that. Anything after that, that's an issue. But then once the Democrats started pushing this whole like full-term abortion, I'm like, whoa. Let me take a look at this. And as I researched and educated myself, I am pretty much pro-life now. Pretty much at conception. We should be able to avoid this wholeheartedly at conception. I 100% support the heartbeat laws in Alabama and some of these other states, and that's where kind of my stance is once there is a heartbeat, absolutely no abortion at all. And I do believe life starts at conception. So you have pushed me much farther to the extreme, I guess, if you want to call it that. But we have so much education and there's so much ways to not get pregnant. But this is what you've done to me. You have made me much more conservative based on these crazy ideologies that you have. And it's based on research that I've done with my libertarian values. So I believe once there's a heartbeat, that is now a person and they have their own rights and you can't kill them. Let's start funding not abortions. Let's start funding adoptions and getting people more adoptions. Why do we have to fund abortion? Why not fund adoption? Why not give this human being that chance to live? That's my take on it, and you pushed me even farther that way. Thank you, Democrats, who made me educate myself and learn more about it and watching these horrific abortion videos. But that's for another video, another day. I digressed again, but I just want to tell you how this happens. So for me, I used to actually be pro-smoking. If you want to do that, by all means do it. And it goes back to my libertarian values. As long as you are not affecting anybody else, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do with your life. So here we are. I was all for smoking. I'm actually against all these smoking bans and you shouldn't be allowed to smoke anywhere. And it frustrated me because I wasn't educated. As long as you're affecting yourself, I don't care. If you want to smoke and get lung cancer and die, why do I care? That's your choice, and that's the freedom we have here in America. But now that you made me start doing research and I realized, whoa, 41,000 people a year are dying from secondhand smoke. Now you got me. Now I'm actually, hey, we should probably take a bigger, deeper look at smoking because it's affecting other people's lives. So thank you, Democrats. Again, you've educated me. You made me look deeper into something that should be. But going back to the virtue signaling of Walmart, why are you selling cigarettes? It kills 500,000 Americans a year. Not only that, 41,000 Americans on secondhand smoke are dying. That's secondhand smoke kills more than all the gun violence in this world or in this country does. Gun violence, 36,000 Americans. Secondhand smoke, 41,000 Americans. So that's even worse if you ask me. Most of the gun violence, gun deaths, over half of them are from suicide. So it's somebody doing it to themselves, which obviously goes back to mental illness. If you're killing yourself, there's something's not clicking right. Again, back to the root of the problem. We need more help for people with mental illness. We need much more resources out there for people who are mentally ill, who need to talk to somebody when they get to that point of they want to take their own lives. Nobody should want to take their own lives. We have one shot in this world and we need to make the best of it. So more, again, the root of the problem, mental illness. We need to help people with mental illness, gun violence. But more than half of the gun deaths, so we can say 18,000 plus are suicides. So people doing it to themselves. So then we can narrow it down to, okay, so the other 18,000 are homicides, shootings, unintentional shootings. So we can just lump that into a category of, okay, they're not doing it to themselves. They're affecting other people's with their gun violence. 41,000 people, innocent people, are dying a year from tobacco use, from secondhand smoke. So 41,000 innocent victims are dying. That's more than all the gun violence combined. And if you even cut it in half to where it's not suicide, you're talking 18,000 from actual like victims of gun violence that are actually not perpetrated by themselves through suicide. You're talking about 18,000. 18,000 and 41,000 Americans are dying by secondhand smoke every single year. Innocent victims that don't smoke, have never smoked in their lives, are dying because of the complications of smokers. Why don't we take a hard look at it? Why don't we start banning smoking cigarettes? Because by you selling cigarettes, 41,000 people a year are dying. That's a lot of people every day dying due to cigarette smoking. Innocent victims dying to cigarette smokes. So if you want a virtue signal, and if you really actually cared, you would stop selling cigarettes. Did I make my point? I sure hope I did. I hope it makes sense that it's all virtue signaling. It's the mainstream media pushing narratives. It's the mainstream media lying to you, lying to everybody, getting that emotional bond to guns. Guns are so evil. Well, why don't you put that same effort into cigarettes that are killing 41,000 Americans a year? But they would never say it. They will never ever say it because it doesn't help their cause. There's not a lot of emotional ties to it. They could sure do it if they wanted to, but they don't want to do it because guns are evil, and us Republicans who wear red hats are evil gun owners. The NRA, what did Gavin Newsom or San Francisco say the other day, that they're a terrorist organization? Now give me a break. So it doesn't fit their narrative. Just think of that, guys. Everything that mainstream media says, they have a narrative behind it that they're trying to push and trying to lie to you and trying to distort the facts, be hyperbolic about it all. And if they really would tell you the truth, you would know what was going on, just like smoking cigarettes. There it is. That's my pitch for the day. On a good news here, I want to touch on something really good before I go out of here. It just popped up when I was doing my research for the show for the day. And here we go. I'm going to talk about it right here. Border apprehensions plunges. Trump administration hails Mexico pact. It's something down 50% drop. 56% drop since Trump has been working with Mexico and they made their new pact. Great. We need to see more of that. We need to see the wall being built, which he just did, which we talked about last week. He's moving all kinds of funds. I think it was $4 billion in funds going to the wall. So we're getting the wall up every day. I said this last week. Every day, Trump is chipping away, and making a big impact. 56% drop is a huge drop in illegal immigration numbers. I'll take that all day. Let's keep those numbers month after month after month, and we will no longer have an immigration problem. So anyhow, I wanted to end on a high note there after we are being lied to by Gavin Newsom and the mainstream media and all these virtue signaling from all these companies. And it makes me sad because people are going to lose their jobs. And that just goes back to the economy and how Democrats like Bill Maher are like, I want the economy to crash. We need a recession. We need a crash. We want to wipe out everything we've done great in this country. It makes me sick to my stomach. You want to call me like I'm a racist and I hate people? Like, what are you talking about? If we were to actually truly have another recession, we're talking about millions of Americans losing everything. Their homes, their livelihoods, their cars, they're living on the street. You're hoping millions of Americans lose everything they've worked for their entire life. That's what crashes and recessions do. People lose everything they've ever worked for just so Trump will lose. I don't know. I'm the bad guy, though. But you're hoping millions of Americans lose everything they've ever earned. But again, I'm wearing a red hat. So again, that emotional tie, I'm a bad guy. Okay, guys, I'm just trying to put the facts out there. I want you guys just to understand what's really going on. That's my hope, is that just like Trump with his Twitter, he's trying to get around the mainstream media. And that's why I do this show and this podcast, because I want all Americans to know what's really going on and how they are lying to you. And it's just sick. I want you to get the information. I want you to process it yourself and then go from there. That's all I ask. Anyhow, I love you guys. And I love this country. and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching my show today. If you've missed any other episodes, you can check them out right there. Share me and help me get my reach as far as we can, because we are gonna keep America great.